What is up, everybody? Before this podcast begins, and I'm sorry to interrupt it, we just want to thank some of our sponsors because without them, we definitely would not be where we are today.
Here are our sponsors: GK Calls, Migra Ammunition, Pointe Mouillee Waterfowl Festival, Gator Decoys, Flipping Bird Apparel, Firebolt Game Calls, Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association.
So, again, I am sorry for interrupting the podcast, but again, without these amazing companies and organizations, we would not be where we are today. So, I hope you guys enjoy this week's podcast, and here you go. What is going on, everybody? Me and Chris are sitting here. Chris is going to be a little bit of a different episode for us and for everybody. Chris, what's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. Nice Sunday.
Yeah.
Ready?
Had a long night on the river last night. Turkey season is upon us. We've been on the road. You've been on the road a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody else has been on the road a lot, chasing them turkeys, kind of scouting them out before season hits.
Ready for it.
What have you been seeing out there, man?
Seeing them. I mean, it's kind of weird. You know, some days you go out there and there's turkeys, and some days there ain't nothing out there, which is kind of strange because usually around this time we're seeing turkeys consistently, I would say.
Yeah, and I don't know. We have some guests coming on in the near future. I don't know if it's because of like the food sources or if we had like a bad hatch last year. Because there's a lot less winter wheat fields than last year, I would say.
Yeah.
Or like in the locations that we hunt. And I know the hens really like to nest in those winter wheat fields. So I don't know if that's got a lot to do with it. But we've had a lot of rain too.
Yeah.
So I think that has.
It definitely could be a factor in that too. But what do we know? We're just
Average Joes.
Just your average Joes. But
I don't know. It's just one thing that I always think about during turkey season and trying to get people in the best, I don't know, location or give them the best opportunity that we could possibly give them.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't know what everybody else has been seeing as they're scouting or getting ready for the year. And I know Florida, they started, like 3 weeks ago or whatever it was?
Yeah, it's been a while now.
So I don't know. It's I'm excited for it. I think we got some good hunts lined up. We have some really exciting content coming for everybody tuning in and watching us right now. But it should be an exciting year.
Yeah, definitely excited for that.
Last year you didn't really turkey hunt much, did you?
Not last year, no. Last year I kind of took that year off, really.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And I know I said it a million times. Just turkey hunting is just one of my biggest passions, I guess.
Oh, I had a lot going on during the springtime. I really didn't have time for that, but still, I wish I would have went out more, but just didn't have the time last year.
Yeah.
This year I got to make up for it.
Well, and you definitely have been for all the scouting and stuff that you've been doing. I mean, we've been pretty good. I've gotten lucky with my work schedule right now of being able to go out in the mornings and you hitting the nights, which is a big thing.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
I think the next thing for us, or people that are going into this week getting ready for the season, is going to be more of the actual roosting the birds, locating them at night instead of just the driving around and seeing where they're at type thing. But even, after this first weekend, it's going to change up a lot.
Yeah, well, it definitely will.
For pushing birds around or whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's why, just got to stay on it during the week, though, too.
Right. What is one big, I guess, exciting thing for you this year going into this turkey season? What are you looking forward to the most? This
year, I think what I'm looking forward to most is seeing more people shoot birds. Actually seeing, them experience their first bird and, how exciting it can be and whatnot. I'm so thrilled to be a part of, this and be able to bring some people out and see their smiles, and just there's something about turkey hunting, and when people kill their first turkey, it's just there's something about it. I think it's like killing your first deer.
Yeah, especially with Brian coming in the first weekend, that should be a really exciting one. Especially with all the filming that we're going to be getting this year.
He's so excited about it though. Every time I go out there, I send him a picture. He's like, "I'm not a turkey hunter yet. Not till he comes out here."
It should be a really good time. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things for me though too, where we lost one big piece last year,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was one piece, but I don't know, man. I'm feeling almost kind of. I don't know if it's just because like the birds that we've been seeing, it's just not been as consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of in between, I guess, on how excited I am because I mean, obviously, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
But like how I don't know the numbers. How I'm curious to see how good it's going to end up.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what could happen second week of the season, you know?
Right. I'm kind of curious to see what everybody else's numbers are looking like this year.
Yeah.
If we're the only area that's kind of, I don't want to say hurting for birds, but just not seeing the numbers that they usually do.
Yeah. I think they're there. Really. I think they are.
I think so
just,
too.
You know, are they hanging out more in the timber now? Or what's going on? Because the fields, I mean, a lot of fields are almost flooded.
I mean, even
the
woods that we have permission on, or where the birds usually roost at, are all kind of flooded. I mean, there's roads closed. This past week, I should say. So I don't know. It's going to be, I don't know. Find out when the time comes, obviously, but it's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
It'll be a work in progress, I think, but I think we'll have a good time.
That's for sure. I mean, we started setting up blinds. I set up the one, and we tried to set up the other one yesterday.
Yeah.
But with turkeys in the fields, have you? What do you usually do for hunting? Like, do you hunt on the ground mainly?
On the ground. That's what I love to do.
I love that too. It's just with the new guys and the filming and stuff. That's gonna be a hard thing to kind of, like with the movements, or when we had Chris on talking about like his camera stuff and everything. It's a whole new realm, whole new world.
Rather have that safety net, of the blind.
Right. I don't know. I'm gonna take a couple days off and see what happens. I'm excited for that 410.
Oh yeah.
Just got the 410.
Yeah.
That's gonna be exciting for me. I don't know.
And that pattern's beautiful with with those Migra shells.
Migra for the 20 yards is nuts. Even at the 40-yard mark, it's insane. Not that I'm going to shoot a turkey at that distance, but seeing that pattern that far just gives me that confidence. If I did need that, it's crazy to me. A 410 shell has 300 and something pellets in it, or BBs, whatever you want to call it. It's just that's insane. Like 410s are like a size of this pen right here. And it's like literally that big.
Yeah, and being that consistent at 40 yards though.
Right.
That blows my mind.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Pretty incredible.
What gun is that? That's a Stevens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stevens gun with a little cheap red dot on it. So I'm hoping, knocking on wood, that that red dot works and doesn't like just die halfway through a hunt or something like that.
Batteries die or something.
I've never used a red dot, so I don't really know. I mean, I obviously there's not much to it, but especially with the Stevens, with it being like a kid's gun per se, and it having a double safety on it, I don't know how to kind of get through it all. Like, should I
your process behind it all?
Yeah. Like with the red dot, turn the red dot on, or should that always be on? I don't know. I guess it's kind of a rookie thing to say, which is fine by me, but I don't know, because I got to cock it. I got to have the safety on and off. It's just going to be
trial and error.
And I hope there's more success than error. And, you know what I mean? It's going to be difficult.
First trial. Yeah.
But it does kind of suck around like where we're at, even like the walleye tournaments that are going on that we're going to be missing out on.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we have a big walleye tournament coming up at opener.
We have one, and then for me, I usually go out there after the morning hunt, usually just get some food and then go back out in the afternoon. For us, we're very fortunate to have the season that we do. Did you even buy your license yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so we'll have to get that.
Yeah.
Get that for sure. But for us, having it from April 19th to May 31st,
that's a pretty long season.
It's a long season compared to some. I know one guy at work, he's got one that's like 2 weekends or something like that, or like 10 days or something like that. It's weird.
Hard. It's really hard, especially if you're a weekend warrior and you don't scout as much as we do.
Especially like just state lane alone.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's that brings in a whole new, just like, I don't know. It brings in a whole new, what's the word I'm looking for? A whole new
realm, difficulty, skill level.
I don't know. That's in skill, maybe not skill level, but state land, I feel like with the pressure and stuff, and especially like with the hunting public guys coming out more, not getting out more, but like how big they're
Yeah.
growing and how fast they're growing, and more people getting onto those state lands. I feel like being different from everybody else is one of the biggest things to do. Whether it's
I
not
would
using
agree.
any decoys or maybe just using one hen decoy,
Yeah.
and it's obviously got to change throughout the whole year because you can't have the same decoy setup as everybody
No.
else. And I'm not saying run a waterfowl spread out there in your turkey spread, like in your turkey
Yeah.
whatever, but maybe throw two hens and a tom decoy out there, two hens and a jake decoy,
Yeah.
or the breeding pair or whatever it may be, just being different and
changing it up,
keeping those birds just guessing.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Um,
Especially with state land.
yeah,
I mean,
state land you have to.
You have to.
I guess to the keeping the bird curious is the biggest thing, like for the calling aspect of it all.
Yeah.
And seeing even like these state land videos, even though we're hunting private land, helps me out so much more with learning the whole thing. Like it's just,
I would say so, yeah.
You could add a lot more to your game.
Well, yeah, you learn off of pressured birds that are on state land. You're watching those videos and stuff like that. It's just a whole learning curve. You know, if a bird is hung up this way, maybe it's hung up the same way on that public land, and you see that, you take note of that, and you kind of try out what they're doing if they're successful. And
that's going to be a thing that we're gonna have to kind of think about as well. Is with all of the rain that we have gotten over the last 2 weeks, I should say, the woods is probably going to be flooded out big time.
Yeah.
So making sure that we kind of understand the woods and how like the path for them to come to and not go through the water. Because I'm not saying they won't cross water, but I have a hard time for them crossing water and them just saying, all right, that's enough.
I feel like they're going to walk around the water before anything.
Well, right. But like if you're setting yourself up in like, let's say a horseshoe without you even knowing it, and you're surrounded by water, but the bird's on the other side.
Yeah, you really have to take that in perspective. Yeah.
Right. So understanding the woods, and we didn't walk around as much as I'd like to, but we walked around on the one property, which I thought helped us out understand it.
Yeah, I would say so. It's hard to do it, when it's pitch black out, but it's something,
I'm just saying, even the off season wise.
Oh yeah.
Like getting used to your birds, like in your areas. I mean, I think we found a couple spots in that one piece that we walked and kind of understood it a little bit more.
Yeah. That's good property.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind really trying to get into the wood and shoot a bird in the hardwoods.
It would be really
just a
cool.
Field edge bird.
There are some spots in that piece, I think.
Very doable.
Yeah,
I agree. I think even too, and I'll say with turkey hunting and waterfowl, these two sports are one of the most cutthroat things ever. Like turkey hunting, you're getting down talked if you use a decoy. You're getting down talked if you use TSS. You're getting down talked if you're hunting field birds instead of wooded bird, in the woods. It's just so much like just drama and BS. I feel like that goes into it all.
I think so too, but I think overall the camaraderie behind it is stronger. There's a lot of shit that goes on.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's as bad as deer hunting, especially in our state. But
deer hunting's a different animal and stuff in the state. I just seen a thing the other day. Actually, it was what was it, like 180 something thousand deer were shot, and I could be way off on numbers on this. 60 or 70,000 were does, and like 110 or something were antlered deer bucks.
Really?
That's insane.
That is, in our state.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
that's crazy.
I could be off, but I know it was like the does were. I don't.
It's got to be up there.
It was right around the. That's like very similar to that number. I don't know.
It's crazy. I'd like to know the turkey numbers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if anyone comes out with that. I'm sure there is some kind of.
There's some sort of form that they come out with.
It's not well advertised.
No, but I mean, how many people are really looking into that too?
Probably not a whole lot of people.
What I'd like to know is even like the fall numbers, because you can shoot hens in the fall.
Yeah.
How many people are actually going out there in the fall and shooting hens? Or because I feel like that's kind of I don't want to say important, but keeping the ratio, I guess.
Yeah, management.
I guess at the same time with the turkey numbers, slowly growing. You don't want to take away from hens.
Yeah.
But it also goes back to trapping, like the coons and everything.
Yeah.
I just seen another video the other day about how many turkey nests like raccoons disturb every year, and it's just like an insane amount of nests that they destroy.
I just think if you have a love for it, you have to have some kind of impact on that. Like, maybe you're not into trapping, okay, but you could do something to help people get into trapping, or there's other different ways you can help to get involved in the conservation side of turkeys, whether it be turkeys, ducks, geese, waterfowl, deer, whatever.
Well, that's why I sped up after that one raccoon on the road the other day. I was trying to run him over and help out the
that was a
turkey
big
population.
sucker too.
I probably would have left a dent. Another dent in my
Got a flat
front
tire
bumper.
after that one.
It probably would have been.
Oh,
it was bad.
Now, speaking about that public land, though, usually, like, if for our state, you have to draw to get on public land.
Some locations. Yes.
It should be more desirable to go towards public land because it's easier for people, and it's kind of hard. And I get it, turkey numbers aren't there, but I wonder what the DNR is doing to try to bring back those populations on the state land. I think that's something we need to talk to, like, maybe Joe when he comes on, because I think there's not a whole lot of people who turkey hunt, realistically.
Well, it's hard to say because there's 50,000 tags just in our.
That's true, but I don't think they get filled.
They filled last year.
They did?
Yeah.
Maybe it's coming back. But I just feel like I think it could be bigger. I think you could give more people options to be able to go on state land and make it a little bit easier, because it is hard to get, private land around here.
It is, and that's a big controversy, like with people lately too, that I've been seeing, is the private compared to like the state land hunters, and how they're saying like the lease grounds are, becoming like more and more prevalent. Like everybody's leasing ground out where they can't get onto it and they have to go this route. But at the same time, I mean, got to put that work in for the grounds. True. You got to travel, for those grounds. I mean, we travel damn near an hour just to get out to the properties that we scout almost every day. So it's hard to kind of balance it all out and try to see things from both sides, because we all know some guys that say they scout, but they might go out for 20 minutes to that one field that they got and then just drive home, and then that's their scout. Like, if you want it, you got to put that work in for it.
You definitely do.
But I think kind of where you're getting at too is what is the state doing itself to help turkey numbers or hunters?
Yeah,
in
overall,
our state?
yeah.
Because I feel like in the southern states, turkey hunting is more of a like a religion almost.
It seems like it.
Where up here in Michigan, it's kind of on the back burner. Like, we don't see a lot of projects going on with our stuff and helping our turkey numbers, whether it be burns or whatever it is. We're not seeing the state or like NWTF really contributing to it. Not saying that they're not, but we just don't see it.
Yeah, and I think once if we do get some people on for that, I think that those are some questions to be asked, and promotion of that is huge. I don't think the state of Michigan really promotes a whole lot, as like Tyler said, everyone's trying to get the story out, but it's hard to.
You could say people could complain all that they want, but you can't complain if you're not making an impact of it themselves.
100%.
So, like you said, we talked about that with the MUCC podcast. People, they need to voice their opinions. They need to do the work. They can't just sit back and then think everybody's going to do it for them.
Yeah.
If the numbers are low, then do something about it, or get a hold of MUCC or the NWTF branch in Michigan, or the local DNR. Just talk to somebody to see what you can do.
There's so many different things, so many different avenues. Just in waterfowl, like, we do so much just for waterfowl.
Yeah.
I can only imagine there's probably endless opportunities for turkeys right now.
I mean, look at all, even like the stuff that we do in the springtime for waterfowl, whether it be wood duck boxes or hen net, like mallard nest or whatever it may be, or getting grounds ready for like in our state, like regulated areas like Pointe Mouillee and stuff. It's just, there's so much that goes into it. And the problem is with a lot of these things, I could really see it in the near future becoming more difficult because there's going to be less and less people. Like the older generation that help out,
Yeah.
they're slowly not getting out of it, but they can't do as much. So
yeah.
it's kind of really up to the younger
It really
generation
is.
to give back.
I don't think a whole lot of people understand that. They're maybe even our age though. Like people don't really understand. If you're gonna take, you have to give back.
Yeah,
you have to.
Right.
Otherwise, it won't be there.
Right.
It won't be there for the next generation.
What is your biggest thing for turkey hunting wise? Like you roost a bird the night before. How close are you getting to that bird usually?
It depends on location.
Mm-hmm.
Where that bird is roosted up. I'm going within like 50 yards.
You're gonna have to get in there early then.
Yeah, 50 yards, and I've always been weird about it. Like if I've gone out with someone, we're walking in a row.
Yeah.
So you only if there is, if they do see something, they only see the one thing. They don't see, I think that, I could be wrong, but I think that does play a factor. And there's multiple different things that play factors, but I like to get close enough I like to see the birds come down.
It's hard for me just because there's a lot of factors that play into it. I'm probably only getting that close if that bird is patterned almost to a point where I know he's flying down in this location every time, because I feel like when you do get to that distance and you start calling at that bird on the roost, which I do, but at the same time I still keep them curious on what's going on. That Tom, or I'm going to say Tom, is looking for the hen. He's looking for that bird.
Yeah.
So if you're calling it to that bird on the roost, he's looking for that hen to fly down, and he's going to go right towards her. So, one, you better get there early enough where you could set maybe a decoy up.
Yeah.
But then two, if it's like dry in that woods, you're going to make so much noise getting that
That
thing
is
close.
very true. That is very true.
And if it's calm out, that sound's going to travel like crazy too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point. I personally like just to watch him come down from the roost.
For sure.
That's one thing I love to see.
For sure.
Seeing it.
And seeing them gobble on the limb, everybody wants to see that.
Yeah.
But it seems like more times than not, they're flying the other way.
Yeah.
If
you have to be
close.
very careful with it.
Right.
And it's all situational though.
100%.
That's my ideal.
100%.
If it's, like you said, if you got the bird pattern and pretty much where it's going to drop down at, and
I think like we had an instance with Brandon's bird last year. We got out to the field, but we were walking on the wood line, and we get set up in a corner, and I wanted to get a little bit further back, so we pick everything up, and a bird gobbled like within probably 75 yards, but I knew we needed to get to a certain spot for the best hide wise, and it was kind of dark enough out to where we could sneak up there still. We knew where he was at. I knew the woods. I knew how thick it was, so where he couldn't really see out to where we were. But we were also walking the field edge where it was quiet out there compared to walking on leaves and sticks and all that other stuff. Like I said, I think calling on the roost is a very difficult thing that people get super excited about and worked up about.
Yeah.
And you can't. Like, you can get excited all you want, but like calling on the roost too much can really blow that bird right off the limb.
Yeah. It
gets difficult in that aspect of it all.
I always tell myself less is more. When it comes to turkeys,
sure.
Less is more. I'm sure there's been times where you have never even really called.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call to get their interest.
Yeah.
But like, I think a lot of people call every single time that bird gobbles, and I don't think that's a good thing to do.
I don't think you need to do that at all.
Well, yeah, I truthfully think that you shouldn't do that, just because if you want that bird to stay interested on what is going on, if you call too much, it almost sounds like that hen's coming to that tom, because that's what that gobble's doing. He's trying to attract all the hens to him. Mm-hmm. If you only call a certain amount of times, he's going to come and try to find you instead of the other way around.
Oh yeah, you want him curious. You want him looking for that hen. That's
I don't know. That's just the way I kind of play it out. Ideally, for me personally, in a perfect world, obviously, I'd like to see that bird on a limb, but I might be getting 150 yards out and just being confident with what I'm.
Yeah.
And that's probably minimum of distance wise I'm getting to them. Because there was like last couple of years I've known where a lot of birds are, but I want to sit off just so.
You're playing your cards right though. Like you're playing it safe to a point.
There's always going to be problems within the hunt, right?
Yeah.
And especially with like bringing new people out, they're going to be moving around a little bit. They're going to be making noise. I think like the first time I brought Devin out, he's like, "Oh, you want me to put my headlight on so I could see where I'm sitting?" I'm like, "No,
No.
dude. Like they're going to see it. They're right there." So it's just kind of those instances where you're going to be talking, people are going to be moving around, making noise, and you want to make them feel like nothing's out there that's different.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things for me. Like I said, minimum about 150, but being confident in yourself that you could pull that bird across.
Yeah.
Early season might be tough though because they're usually hend up pretty good. Later in the year, those big toms are out and they're
They're roaming
because all the hens are on nest and stuff.
Yeah.
So it later in the year, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I feel like because the birds are pressured one, and they kind of know they're being hunted. Obviously, they've been pressured. They know some tactics that people are doing. They've been kind of seeing it all, and they're not dumb, obviously. But at the same time, with the hens being on nests, they're roaming. They're wanting to look, and they're a little bit more gun ho, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Earlier in the year, they already got their hens. It's easier for them to get henned up, but it's easier for them to be dumber too because they're not used. They don't have the pressure on them yet.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I don't know. And then for calls for you, what kind of calls do you like using? Like as in like mouth call or
I love a mouth call. I'll mess with the slate though too. It just depends. Sometimes what I've found is, every time's different. Some times gonna react a different way to a certain call. Sometimes you got to play around with it. If that turkey is real hung up, I might throw everything at him for a little bit.
Right. Locating wise, what do you use?
Is like owl call or crow call?
No, just like so. It's kind of difficult because I'll call sometimes in the morning to locate them, or at night when they're roosting to locate them.
Yeah.
Crow call. I don't really find a lot of. I don't have a lot of luck with crow calls.
Yeah.
Maybe it just be the location and the time frame that I'm using it at. But if I'm trying to locate a turkey and they don't gobble from an owl call, I'll use my pot call, crystal or glass call to try to reach those birds, or just a higher pitch call to get out there wise.
I was just gonna say, I got a real loud diaphragm call that it's called the location.
Okay.
So it's for that reason.
I think those crystal calls, you could just really like the putting. It just could really just echo through the woods. And I love using those to reach them. And then once, obviously they come closer, less movement, especially if you're sitting on the ground. I'll switch over to the mouth call and go from there.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Everybody's different. Like Trav, I know uses like a box call. I can't stand box calls, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like box calls, obviously.
I think they're cool. There's a nostalgia behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. That's I don't know. I just can't get the hang of it, I guess. And I think a lot of things with hunting in general and fishing, I'd say, the confidence level. You have to, like, if you don't have confidence behind one thing, you think it's not going to work. But you also hear all the time or see all the time people sound like absolute dog crap and it working like crazy for them. So it's, I don't know, right time, right place, I guess.
Yeah, I say so. I guess it's all different. It all depends on the bird, really.
100%.
Too, but
100%. And I always say there's always that time frame for any animal that they're like the least. They had that like say an hour or half hour time frame where you could really get on them. If you're trying to get on a bird in their time frame where they're like not expecting it or like they let their guard down, I guess it's just like, again, it's time and place.
Yeah.
It's what bird are you hunting, I guess, that day? What is he feeling like?
That's very true.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this now. Which would you say you have better success on? Is right off the roost or like later on, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock?
Right off the roost.
I would say so too.
I don't know. I've had opportunities later in the day,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's more of you just kind of getting tired, waking up early, getting out there, and you just want to go home, take a nap,
Yeah.
or like the confidence in the afternoon. Because obviously they're just a lot more fired up in the morning, and that's what everybody wants to hear. I've had turkeys before come in and just kind of mosey around, and it's like I don't even want to like hunt them or harvest one, just because it's not like that thrill, I guess. You know what I mean? Everybody wants that gobbling bird right in their face. So it's in the afternoon. If he's not that fired up, it's hard.
It is hard
to really keep going after him, especially if you're going time and time again and not seeing or like hearing anything or seeing results from anything. You know, what about you?
Oh, it's definitely, yeah, definitely right away in the morning.
I don't know what kind of decoys. Like what kind of decoy, I guess, spread? That's my waterfall or our waterfall talk coming out. But
I have personally only used 2 hens.
Really? So not even a Jake?
I've never used a Jake.
Really?
I've always just used 2 hens. And like, you know, in a staggered way. But most of the time I'm just bringing out 1 hen.
I've used that before. Earlier in the year, I'll just use a Jake and a hen. Later on in the year, I like to use 2 hens and 2 Jake, or 2 hens and a Jake. But it also gets tricky because a lot of the time those toms or those single toms get beat up by all the Jakes around.
Yeah,
so
I was just going to say that, yep.
A Jake out there, a lot of the time
it can really deter them, yeah. Yep.
So the hen tactic might not be a bad move. Just confidence at the end of the day.
It really is. And you can't be afraid to change things up.
Right.
And you know, like I said, that's what I've used and that's worked for me, but it might not work in every situation. And you have to be able to, you know, maybe change it up, go back to the truck, get a Jake decoy or whatever, you know?
Right. No, definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. And we'll have a lot more even podcasts where we're talking about turkey season. I'd like to do at least some updates throughout the turkey season, maybe once every other week or whatever it may be. I think
we should, yeah.
To let everybody know how our season's going, what we're seeing. I think it'd be good to talk to other people from different states, even to see what kind of their reactions doing. Just to kind of keep everybody informed and stuff.
How the season's going, how other people's seasons are going.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be important to do. Getting off the turkey talk, fishing, Detroit River walleye.
Yep.
That's starting to really heat up.
It really is.
Water's been really muddy, so it's been difficult.
But I heard if you find those clear spots.
I know a lot of guys out there that have been really hammering for the last couple of weeks, and I feel kind of bad I haven't got out there at all. And I know during turkey season it's tough for me to get out there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to get out there as soon as that water clears up. Start hand lining, start jigging. I need to get on making jigs too. I think this week I'm going to start making some jigs. I got some orders to fill for that. And we got some big tournaments coming up too. We kind of touched on this week, the tournament on the opener.
Yes. Yep.
Pointe Mouille's got their tournament.
Yep.
What day is that?
It's May 31st, I want to say.
So anybody that's interested, come out to that, sign up. I think you can sign up right online.
Yeah, right online. Yep, and it's through
the Walleye
the Walleye Federation tournament or whatever. Not
is it what? NW I don't know. It's the Walleye, Confederation.
Yeah.
You get a food afterwards.
So if you don't want to fish it, it's $15 for a walleye dinner. All you can eat. You can't beat that at all. No, it's cheap.
All you can eat.
All you can eat. I think it's $30 a person though for the tournament. No.
Second year doing it, or just
second or third?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Last year I know it was a little bit rough out because I think the winds were real bad. Or something.
Yeah, it got real bad towards weigh-in.
I was gonna say I remember it being real bad because I think my dad and I were talking about doing it, or maybe it was just my dad. But the weather was just awful.
It was. It got really windy. I was on the boat with Zach, and I was like, we should probably go now.
Man. I don't know, but that'll be a good time. Good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of raffles, and I think we might have a gun or two to give away as well.
That'll be big.
Yeah,
That'll be big.
So it'll be fun. It's overall a good time. It's at the VFW, so there's gonna be beers there and whatnot, and
we got raffles there too as well, right?
Oh yeah,
so hopefully raffles, maybe get some good giveaways and
yeah, it's a good time. Overall, good time, good people. Yeah, so we're gonna have prizes for like the biggest fish, overall biggest fish, and I think first, second, third, and fourth place.
That'll be nice then.
So
that'll be nice.
Lots of opportunities. The people who won last year had 2 girls on the boat, and both those girls never fished ever.
And they won
it. It was their first time they won it.
Man. That's what Bob was saying, that he's bringing out his daughter's boyfriend and that he's never walleye fished.
Yeah.
So I said, as long as he doesn't bring a banana in the boat, it'd be all right. You'd be set.
Knowing Bob, that's probably what's gonna happen.
Probably, because I think he's in a pre-fish Friday. He said.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It hopefully the weather turns out good, and hopefully some people on here actually show up.
Yeah.
Look into it more at least.
I mean, for that price, you can't beat super cheap. And if you don't want to fish it, come out for the all you can eat dinner. I mean,
even this weekend, the 19th, April 19th. I think it's at Captain Jim's.
At Captain Jim's. Yeah. It's like an all day event.
I think Captain Steve Falwell's putting it on.
Yep.
For what is it, the Chief Charter?
Yeah, Chief Charters.
Chief Charters is putting it on. So anybody on Facebook or anything, you can look that up and see it. And it's on the Pointe Mouillee one is on Facebook as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it's on Facebook. Yep. And all you got to do is visit the website and register.
Right. So if anybody needs to see anything, go on Facebook.
For the tournament this weekend, you have to register by the 17th.
Okay. So what is that? Thursday?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Friday would be 18th, Thursday 17th. Yep. Okay. And I know that fills up quick too.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
That fills up quick, and then there's the walleye. Like you could eat all the fish that are caught that day afterwards, and be at the bar.
That gets sold out pretty fast.
Right, but bunch of raffles there and stuff. I mean, both tournaments are going to be awesome. There's this time of year around this area is just absolutely insane with the amount of tournaments going on, the boats coming in, the people out of state coming in. It's kind of a special thing that like we kind of take for granted.
It really is. It's fun. It's fun. It's almost every weekend. You can go down West Jefferson. There's a tournament.
Oh, yeah, everywhere, absolutely everywhere. What's your favorite way of walleye fishing?
Jigging.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just can't get away from that hand line.
Well, it might change this year.
Have you hand lined before?
No, never.
Okay, so it might change. Yeah, for sure it might change. And maybe this week we'll try to go out.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Because, I mean, the way that the weather was last night was absolutely perfect.
Couldn't beat that weather.
We probably should have went out last night because I did hear a report today that people are really catching them right kind of where we were.
Oh, yeah?
So maybe this week we'll try to get out there, and even if we're out there for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Something happens. I don't know. Jigging's fun, don't get me wrong, but then you're dealing with the crowd of boats and everything.
That is true.
Handline, calm, peaceful water, and not a boat in sight. I mean, there might be a couple of local guys in sight, but not a ton. You know what I mean? You
think that's more of a dying thing, handlining?
I don't know. I think a lot of people know about it still. I don't think I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't really know if the equipment is changing or getting like cheaper, like a cheaper route. Because I do see a lot of like cheaper made handlining reels. I don't know if they're really making those true ANS reels still. But like the ones I have, it's got like the metal casing around it. I mean, they're awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe. I don't know.
You just don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it.
No, but I do hear a lot of people talking about that. Is it chug fishing or they do it a lot in St. Clair. It's kind of like handlining, but.
Oh yeah, we were talking about. I forgot what it was called
with Paul and his brother.
Yeah.
Phil.
Yep.
Yeah, they were talking about it. I just have never done it and tried. I'd like to just to see what happens.
Yeah, see how it is.
Especially this time of year, you go out anywhere to catch walleye.
Yeah.
It's insane. I've always wondered, like, the average, like, take-home amount per day comes out of that river. Because if you think about it, there's thousands of boats out there, like, from Belle Isle to the mouth where we're at.
You got all those boats, but you got people on the bank all the way up to...
Right. And I would almost... I'd be very curious to see how, like, just maybe an average number or a thought of how many walleye are taken out per day, because it's every day.
It really is, yeah.
So if you really think how many walleye are and after year after year after year, it's crazy that the populations is this good still.
Yeah, they say we're on a high right now.
It's insane. It's insane to think about.
These are the glory days. I hope it stays like this for a very long time, and it comes down to conservation and everything like that.
Right.
But we're gonna be talking about these days for a while.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll say too, that's another thing I'd like to talk about more. Like maybe when we do our turkey update podcast, like this, today's obviously a little bit different of a podcast. We don't have a guest that came in. It's just me and you talking to the viewers wise of talking about how we're preparing for turkey season, what we're doing, what we like to do this time of year, the walleye run, stuff like that. That kind of just, I don't know, BS conversation kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'd like to talk about, that every other weekend podcast where it's turkey update and our fishing report update.
Yeah. Yeah. And let us know in the comments and whatnot what you guys want.
Yeah, we have some really good people lined up.
Yeah.
Oh, so don't think that we're running dry on people by any means.
No, but like topics, if you guys want us, write in the comments,
who you'd want on or whatever it may be. But
we can definitely touch on a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, we have some good ones saved in the bank.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for the right time to post them. So you got anything else? I mean, we talked a little bit about turkeys and what we're kind of doing to prepare ourselves. We've been scouting our butts off lately, and really hoping for a good year. Kind of seeing what the birds are going to do after the first weekend, and I think our first weekend is going to be a really good one. To be honest with you, I'm curious to see what the rest of the year looks like and what happens when the birds get pushed around a little bit and where they go.
I am too. It's going to be, where these birds going to go.
Especially for you, like with not really hunting these grounds ever. For me, it's really starting to understand birds are getting pressed over here, and that's why I was seeing them later in the year. Like kind of understanding that aspect of everything. But it's gonna be a whole new kind of world for you.
I'm looking forward to
ground wise.
Yeah,
but
a lot of learning.
Yeah, a lot of learning. But yeah, get a hold of the tournament this weekend at Captain Jim's. Go to the Pointe Mouillee Waterfowl Festival.
Pointe Mouillee Waterfowl Festival. And look it up on Google. Look it up on Facebook.
That's got the fishing tournament on there, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you go on Facebook, Instagram, look up that tournament. That'll be a really good time. We'll be there. For sure, we'll be there. I don't know if I'm gonna fish it. I don't know. We still got to talk about all that.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
And who knows? Give us, if you see us there, maybe we
got a new logo.
Might have some stickers or something like that to give you. Or
we got that new logo that's coming out, which is going to be a really exciting thing too.
Yeah. So check out the new logo coming out, and we'll have that.
We'll have some stuff lined up for that weekend. But yeah, let us know in the comments, messages on Facebook or Instagram, who you'd like to see on here, what we'd like to talk about. We got some really big guests lined up for this weekend that is going to be very controversial, if that's the right word to use. I don't know, about what's going on in our state for our waterfowl. I don't want to say seasons, but
it's waterfowl in general.
Yeah, waterfowl. Yeah. We have some good turkey talks coming up. And, you got anything else?
That's about it. Looking forward to it all.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a season. It's going to be a long season.
It's going to be long. Be fun, though.
Better rest up while you can. But I appreciate every one of you guys coming in and listening to this weekend's podcast, kind of just a little beat around the bush podcast and kind of us telling you what we've been up to lately.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else? I already said that.
That's about it.
All right. So, I do want to thank Pointe Mouillee.
Yeah. Pointe Mouillee Waterfowl Festival.
I do want to thank them this year. For our listeners, I think it'd be very important to even consider coming out or even getting a booth there. Every year we're growing, and it's such a good thing for us to be able to see the growth every year and seeing it go back to the way it used to be.
Yeah, we're on the up and up at Pointe Mouillee, and it's growing fast, and
it's not what it used to be for people that stop coming.
Yeah.
It's really growing quick.
Things have changed a lot, and it's going to be the place to be.
And for people that want to get involved with Pointe Mouillee, come to some meetings.
Yeah, second Tuesday of every month.
Yeah. So I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate everybody tuning in on this week's podcast. Leave us some comments. Let us know about topics or people or whatever. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya.
Appreciate you guys.